Hi, everybody. This is part two of my talk about Pat Metheny. I'm going to give a little bit of background, and I'm going to jump in. Remember, this is not really a biography or anything like that. This is just me making sure that you start your journey listening Pat Metheny with a little background. That being said, let's go right at it, and don't forget to subscribe, click on the bell, and leave me some comments. Thank you, guys. Enjoy. Pat Metheny is from Lee Summit, Missouri. He was a very young guitarist, but with such talent that many professionals started working with him in different jazz clubs around the area. He started working with Gary Burton in his quintet, the Gary Burton Jazz Quintet, back in 78. He was very young. He was like 18, 19 years old. He did tours with Gary Burton and did some albums, recorded some albums. Then he was picked up by the recording label ECM, and that he made his first album, which was Watercolors. But the one that gave him the stage was American Garage in 1979. That's the album I mentioned earlier, that it reached number one on the Billboard jazz charts. Then in 1980, he did As Falls Wichita, So Falls Wichita Falls, an amazing piece of work. But in particular, there is a song he dedicates to Bill Evans. Beautiful song. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful song. Then in 1982, he comes up with Off Ramp. And as always, a work of such quality. And it has that song, Are You Going With Me? Are You Going With Me is a song that was the one that impressed me the most. Every time I listen to that song, tears start flowing. That song had a video back then, 1983, I believe it came, the video. Back then there was MTV in the 80s, who played, like rock and pop songs of the time. But there was another channel that played alternative or slow, songs and so on, what was called VH1. I think the channel still exists. And there's where I saw the video for Are You Going With Me with Pat Metheny. If you have a chance to see it in YouTube, please see it. It's a little dated, but as I said, the music is amazing. Prior to all of this, Pat Metheny did some work with a folk singer called Johnny Mitchell. And during his work with Johnny Mitchell, he met Jaco Pastorius. And it turns out that he made a record called Bright Size Life. The drummer was Bob Moses. So it's Pat Metheny, Jaco Pastorius, and Bob Moses, that trio. And in that album is amazing because was picked up as part of the catalog for the Smithsonian. And not only that, that work was deemed culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. And due to that was picked by the National Recording Registry of the Library of Congress. And that tells you a caliber of musicianship is in that album. In fact, 3 or 4 of those songs from that album are part of the real book, which is like the Bible all musicians use for standard jazz. It gives me goosebumps talking about that album. Now, it's a jazz geared album, but the fact that it has Jaco Pastorius and Pat Metheny in there is like having two titans under the drumming of Bob Moses, who was also a visionary in his trade. That album is amazing. It's one of my favorite albums of Pat Metheny. It's not the Pat Metheny group, but it's Pat Metheny. The album is called Bright Size Life, and it has Jaco and Bob Moses. Other albums I'm going to recommend from Pat Metheny is Imaginary Day. It's more like a world music album, and it has also some pop references and some rock references, multiple genres of music. Also, I will highly recommend Last Train Home and Side Eye View. Now, I'm telling you the names of these albums. They're not in chronological order. I'm just mentioning them to you so you can actually start getting into and listening to the versatility of the music that Pat Metheny has created. For the last album I mentioned, the Side Eye View, I took my kids to see, because he was on tour last year, European tour and American tour, and he came to New York State, Woodstock, and we went to see him at the Bearsville Theater, beautiful theater in Woodstock. Yeah, that's the same Woodstock where the famous 1969 concert of Peace and Love happened. That town is beautiful. I think you can see here some pictures of the town. Also, my son and I went to see him at a theater called the Count Basie Theater in Red Banks, here in New Jersey. Beautiful town and a gorgeous theater as well. Lastly, I don't want to leave this video without saying that Pat Metheny has also worked with other musicians aside from Gary Burton. He worked with Brad Mehldau and Herbie Hancock. You can see some of those videos out there on the internet. There is a lot more to say about Pat Metheny and the Pat Metheny group. But I'm going to just leave it here. I know that I have just given you a broad view of this artist, and that you can definitely go ahead and pursue on your own this deep search into the rabbit hole that is Pat Metheny and the Pat Metheny group. And if you think I've missed anything, and if you want to add anything, please drop a comment, or give it a subscribe, remember, and then drop a comment so you can tell me more of what you have found in your search listening to this great composer, this great musician. And I just with that, I will say goodbye for now. Let's see, maybe for next video I will let you know into something that I have been working in the past 2 weeks, but I will leave it to the next video so you can actually come back and see it. Remember to just subscribe to my channel, click the bell, and also I want to hear and at least read your comments below. Thank you for being here with me. Until next time.